Hey everyone, it's time for another Ridiculously Amazing Agent podcast. I hope all of our listeners are safe and sound out there and are adapting to new trying times. We recently did a daily video where we talked a little bit about the difference between change and adapting. And really, change is something that's planned generally and can be difficult still, but adapting is something that means we don't really have a choice. And so I know a lot of agencies out there have been very productive adapting to a new way of doing business. And it does look like it's going to still take some time to get everything back to where it was. So we have to kind of keep adapting to different ways of doing business. And that's why I wanted to spend a little time on this podcast talking about the best ways to market and sell during the coronavirus outbreak. Want to start with marketing. I think that this has been one of those situations where agencies who weren't marketing before have a much greater uphill battle. And so, the agencies that were doing the blocking and the tackling and had CRM tools, email marketing, text messaging up and running, this was an easier transition. Doesn't mean that agencies can't benefit from marketing if you weren't doing it before. But as an independent agency, oftentimes you're a voice of the community. You've got all different hands and assets and different facets of businesses, personal, et cetera. And so you have the opportunity to be the voice out there for good. Whether it's going and promoting local charities, whether it's going out there and saying, hey, here are the businesses that could use help. All of those things can still be a big opportunity. In fact, I've been encouraging our clients to get out there and use Zoom and interview restaurant owners. What's it like on their behalf? Go out there and use Zoom to interview, some of the healthcare workers or different people impacted by the virus, just to get the word out there. Now, when you think of marketing, one of the things we stress to agencies is there's immediate marketing where you spend money and time and you get a lead. And then there's the long game of marketing. And the long game is really where things have changed over time to be much more effective. When we think about long game and we think about, hey, how do we get the brand image out there? How do we be seen as an asset and a valuable resource? That's what the branding does. And so for those agencies out there kind of struggling and thinking about the marketing side of things, this is not going to get you a lead tomorrow. People aren't going to call and be like, quote my insurance. And it's going to feel like you're putting in a lot of time, effort, and energy, but maybe not getting something directly and immediately in return. And that's okay. But what you have to realize is you're growing your awareness phase. So in marketing, there's the awareness phase, there's the sales phase, and then there's the purchasing phase. And so this is all filling top of the funnel stuff. And by building that goodwill, you'll be out there. So a couple things you can do on this front, which I think are easy enough for anybody getting started. All you would need to do is have an email list, which you should have for your customers, a simple email tool, Zoom meeting, and a YouTube account, which all you can get within, the time that you're listening to this podcast, to be honest with you, is to get out there and say, hey, local business owner, let me interview you on Zoom. Tell your story. Hey, so-and-so who's a daycare worker, what's going on? A hairdresser. Now, you want to encourage them not to get too political, but you can post that stuff very easily out on social media and be the kind of the beacon of telling the story from a local perspective. And then at the end of the day, what this is going to do is tap you into these different communities that are struggling, and you can just simply ask, how can I help? And from an insurance agency perspective, how can I help is a huge strategy to win, win opportunity, win awareness. And ultimately, at the end of the day, if you're an insurance agent that's not their client, asking somebody, how can I help? People are going to remember that. So huge opportunity right there. Quick, easy marketing strategy, nothing too complicated, and something I think we can all envision doing. Another marketing strategy we've really been doing is just pay it forward. We've been doing that every single week here at APP, and it's been great. First of all, we're not doing it for the fanfare, but we're doing it because we can. So, being in a situation like we are where, we have definitely been impacted. I used to fly every week. Now I come to my empty office every week. We've definitely been impacted. Things are different. New client sales have slowed down, and we're working in alternate ways, such as, you can book me to come to your next Zoom meeting and be motivational or give your team some strategies. And we're going to be launching our online school. So there's different things that are definitely occurring, but the ultimate goal at that point is to really kind of get out there and identify, well, hey, not only how can I help, but what are some ways that you could, benefit your community? So whether it's buying nurses lunches, whether it's listening to the governor's press conferences, I know ours is doing a daily one. Not sure about other places. I know Andrew Cuomo is in New York, but what are some of the charities that need help? Whether it's senior citizens, Meals on Wheels, whether it's artists. The latest one here was artists. Another one was, unfortunately through this, in-home abuse is up because people are stuck together. And so if you were in an abusive relationship before, they're saying the domestic violence just, is just going skyrocketing. So while I can't go out there and stop that, we can provide our resources and really help people. And honestly, the biggest thing on that front is not trying to say, hey, I'm a good person, I donated to this charity or I did XYZ, but the awareness side of it is huge. This thing has kind of opened our eyes to our community a little bit and some of the things that we can do just to help that maybe we just took for granted before or didn't think about as much now. So going out there and supporting and magnifying people's messages is also a huge opportunity. On the marketing front, I think it's also an opportunity and to get tactical. So we talked a little bit about the long game and the short game. The short game of all this is working with your current customers. And I'm going to say 3 strategies here that you can do that would generate a lead tomorrow. The first one is cross-selling. People are looking out there to save money. They're home more, especially in personal lines. Now is a huge opportunity in personal lines to call them on a line book and just say, hey, I saw you're missing a big discount. I know times are tough. I wanted to bring it to your attention. You'll get opportunity. Next, life insurance. Business owners, personal customers, we're seeing an uptick in life insurance. This whole thing has brought a heightened awareness. And what it's doing is focusing in on those people who had thought about getting life insurance, but it's just never really connected the dots to take an action. And it's kind of like, oh, I know I need to do it. So huge opportunity to run life insurance campaigns for sure, no doubt. It's kind of pushed that kind of more front and center in people's minds. So that's another step that you can take. And the last one is, if you have a good call with a client, it's just the referral pitch of how can I help? So on the referral pitch of how can I help, it's, hey, we really enjoy your business. If you know anyone that is struggling with their insurance or has questions or is confused, let them know I'm here to help and I'd love to talk to them. That is something I think everybody can say and it doesn't feel sleazy or slimy or swarmy, and really motivating your team to say, hey, even if it's once in the morning, once in the afternoon, how can I help is going to make a big difference in referrals, and that's an immediate. So that kind of gives you some strategies from a marketing perspective. On the sales side, I think that there you have to be creative. If you are an outside producer, you're not going to be shaking hands for some time. But that doesn't mean that the world is over, right? That what that means is we need to get creative. So one strategy we've been using here, and I've been encouraging producers to use, is to get used to video. And I don't necessarily mean video conferences. I mean video in general. So we're big advocates of Loom, which is free, and you can shoot quick videos, screen record. And what you can do is take a simple whiteboard, put someone's name on it, and go ahead and shake your hand so people can see it, and send your prospects a quick note letting them know that you're thinking about them. I think this is a huge opportunity to say to any prospects out there who are stuck, just, hi, I'm thinking about you, how can I help? Also a big opportunity to hit different niches. Hi, my name is so and so, I'm in insurance, I know your industry's been impacted. Don't worry, this is not a sales video. I just simply want to ask, how can we help? If you are confused about your insurance, not sure, you want a second opinion, I'm here for you, absolutely complimentary. The videos with a whiteboard with somebody's name on it are going to get watched because it's authentic and unique. And so you have to get used to it. We're doing 10 a day here, and the message is simply, how can we help? I want to open up that dialogue. Now, again, this might not get you a lead tomorrow to hit your quota. What this is going to do is put deposits down the pike. And that's really, really a critical step. The next step that you want to think about from a sales perspective is, how are you going to defend your accounts? And I think you can also do a great job of asking for referrals at this point in time. So there are some niches and some industries that are still very highly functioning. And if you're getting certificate requests, great news, they're highly functioning. Look at those certificates and say, does anyone else need any help? Your play all day long on this is help, help, help. How can I help? How can we help? How can we be of value? And when you're called into action, people are going to remember that. It's also a good time to solidify relationships. My prediction is on the larger commercial side, it's going to turn to the Wild West. There's going to be audits left and right. There's going to be people who want to save money. And there's also going to be the need to look around and say, well, what else is out there? My business has changed. I gotta protect it. Insurance is a big line item. So it's not a bad idea just to solidify your accounts right now, and you can turn that into a referral ask pretty quickly. So it is a good time to market, but you have to do this tastefully and authentically. If you come off like a salesperson, expect to see the cancellation come through. This is not the time to say, give me your, go put the heavy pressure on. This is the, how can I help? How can I help? How can I be of service? But if you guys watch New Amsterdam, that's Max's statement, like, how can I help? And that's kind of what's ringing true right now. Different states are going to have different curves to this, and that's understandable. I think in Rhode Island, we're still not going to peak till May. Middle of May, so we're going to still see some time. But the critical and most important part that I want you guys to think about is that, the whole statement, we're all in this together, is so true. But in your unique role, how can I help is the key. And so don't discredit the idea that we're exhausted and we're just trying to hold it all together. Instead, look at it as saying, hey, we do have opportunity here, and our business is essential, and we're not shut down, and we still have opportunities to grow and thrive. And that was the big point of the podcast today. So hopefully you enjoyed this podcast. Send us in, let us know how you're doing. And if you have any questions for me to answer, let me know. We're doing those daily 3-minute videos. Love to share them. Our new online school is up and coming. So definitely check in on that. That's a big, big opportunity for people. And more than anything, we hope that you stay safe and well out there. And if there's anything we can do, we are here for you guys. Bye. How can we help?